Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors and blessing to the elders, the apostle of Great Millstone, the water Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, for the elders, the apostle on down for waking me up to the wisdom, knowledge, truth, and understanding. With the spirit, power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the true Aki, I mean the brothers, the one pushing the truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth, wherever you might be, scattered abroad, who like the other nation, who bloodline go back to the 12 tribes of Israel. Shalom to the few Athwab as well, meaning the sisters. The one to repent and come back to Yahweh Shem in these latter days. And shalom to the boys and girls who the Lord going to deliver us on these times to come too. With that, I'm going to say shalom. All right. As you can see, when you read the title of the video, they passed it. Digital currency ads take effect this weekend, which I'm not sure where they're at. But we also know that there are other countries, on the other side of the world already doing the C-HIP in hand, right? The RFID microchip, which is the MOTB, the mark of the beast. And you already have the other nations and heathen across the water doing this, right? They no longer dealing with the dollar, the US dollar. A lot of these countries gonna cut the American dollar off, But this is what to come, putting everything in the process to be digital and using your hand and your forehead for payments and things like that. So this is biblical. This is according to what's going to happen to the Bible. According to the Bible, these things are going to happen. All right. So, but the video like 25 minutes long. I was just going to get a couple scriptures, start it off and let him say what he say about what's going on, that this thing going to take place. Like we tell the people over here, this will soon be happening over here in America, man, that you will see that they coming with the mark of the beast, which is the NWO, if you know what I mean. Right? The NWO, that they wolf, I don't want to say too much because, they chop video, but the one who know what I mean by the NWO, acronyms, you put it together. All right, but this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I should answer when I reprove. All right, so the same way is Habakkuk is watching, right? To see what the Lord put on his spirit, when the Lord dealing with him to say certain things, and so he can bring it out forth, to the people, man. What's going on? Which we come in the same spirit, man. We really come in the same spirit with all the former former prophets, all right, teaching and prophesying. But like the scripture says, spirit of a prophet is subject to a prophet. But we are coming in the same spirit because we're sitting upon our watch, upon our tower, and see what Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai bring our way, man. What's going on throughout the earth, whether it be in the news or videos you come across, so we can speak on it, right? Or give out correction to the people, exposing the wickedness and darkness that going on throughout the earth, where Esau Edom got it plotted. All right, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I should answer when I reprove. Because we the watchmen for the house of Israel. I'm talking about the true prophet, the one who speaking coming in 100% truth. All right. Who moving in the spirit of 100% truth, which start with the elder, the apostle of Great Millstone, all right, who spread it down to the ones who roll up on it or who falling with them. All right. Verse 2, it say, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon table, that he might run that read of it. And that's what we doing, right? We running with it. We gonna got the vision. We understand the prophecy. The Lord gave us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right, to be able to proceed these things and run with it. What's going on throughout the earth, and knowing that the prophecy will take place and they will come to pass. It say, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, right, and make it plain upon table, that he might run that read of it. And we making it plain. We coming straight out the scriptures, through the spirit, power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, reading you what the Lord say gonna come to pass before it happened, and putting it together with the things that going on right now in reality throughout the world. We making it plain. But a lot of folks still won't get it. you know, on the sheets of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua who follow him true and sincere are gonna hear it. Alright. Continue on, verse 3. It say, for the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it should speak and not lie. And it said for the vision, you go get that word vision right there. When you go into the Hebrew, it'll tell you it'll go to prophecy. So this prophecy is just yet for a sacred season, man, which we approaching them times. We hearing them times. Like we say, it just a matter of time before they implement it and make it mandatory in America. Because like we say, all these other countries, they already getting it, which he going to explain that. He going to break it down. All right? For the vision, the prophecy is yet for a point of time. But at the end, it should speak and not lie. It said at the end, it should speak. So this show you right here, we are at the end. And you hear a lot of folks, the unbelievers been saying, man, we been at the end, man. They've been saying it forever. We here at the end. We been in the end. It's just a matter of time before these things start hit closer to home, start getting closer and closer to these things to pop off. But now these things is closer than they ever been. All right, you see how they been with the money situation anyway, cutting the no coins and things like that. All right, some stores ain't even haven't changed. So next it's just gonna lead to the dollar gonna collapse. Ain't gonna be no dollar, man. You see how they coming up with all this, they making everything to move in the way of digital currency and technology, man, and things like that. To bring forth this see here, the MOTB. It say for the vision yet for a point of time, but at the end it should speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So right, it's not gonna be, the Lord not gonna just keep having this thing being delayed, not just gonna be keep holding back. It gonna come. And you see it in his hill. For the one got eyes to see, ears to hear. All right, and that's the point. So I'm gonna bring out one more. And matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna go to one more real quick. This is Isaiah. Then I'm gonna play the video, because a lot of these people, basically what he gonna go into, the things he breaking down. A lot of you gonna get it because you depend on this GOV, right? And not Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Isaiah chapter 36, verse 6. Lo, though trust in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, right? This is broken reed. This is a broken system. There's no support, no backbone, especially for you Israelites, right? The only thing this system only did it, it's oppressed us, afflicted us, all right? You know, so the only people who benefit out the back of the Edomites, WHITE/RED, is the other heathen nation. All right, but they also trust in well, not all of them, but the ones who Americanize out also trust in this GOV too. All right, but it hit you Israelite the hardest, because Yahweh Bashim Yahushua dealing with you. He's your savior. Yahushua is going to deliver us, not Esau Edom. Lo, though trust in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, this broken system, Egypt going to bondage. All right, when you go get that in the Hebrew, right here, when you get the word Egypt, when you go to the Blue Letter Bible, all right. So, because this is where we serve our captivity, slavery at. All right, the same way we did in Egypt, the same way what Esau Edom had us in bondage from when they first came and got us still to the day. All right. Wherein if a man would lean, right, you trusting and you leaning on this system, it would go into his hand and pierce it, which is the MOTB. All right, or RFID micro C-hip. So it's Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. And Trump is the last president. All right. Speaking as a man, you had other brothers. We also go and, speak on these things too. Feel in their opinion. Like, hey, this is the last president. So this is the last leader who they will have to run America, because he the man gonna get the job done with the higher ups won't. All right, so yeah, man, you going to lean and depend on this modern day Egypt in your world and the leaders, all right, who running this side, and they gonna cost you to get the MOTB. But I'm gonna play the video and we're gonna let them talk. This I'm not sure is he a Moabite or Ammonite. He went on. I be getting the different mixed up between these Chinese, Japanese. They look alike, man. Shit like, but yeah, man. Whatever he might be, but I'm gonna play the video.
They passed it. While you were sleeping, while you were watching the game, while you were scrolling through social media and arguing about politics, the legislation that financial privacy advocates have warned about for years.
Shit like, and I want to say that he said they passed it while we were basically people be paying attention to social media and the word in the entertainment things what they have put in your face. They be behind your back, man, prepping to getting these things together. The NWO
Was quietly signed into law. The Digital Currency Modernization Act goes into effect this weekend, Saturday at midnight, less than 72 hours from now. And when you wake up Sunday morning, the America you knew will be fundamentally different. The financial freedom you took for granted will be gone. The ability to transact privately, to hold wealth outside the digital surveillance system, to use cash without restriction, will be legally curtailed in ways most people still do not understand. This is not a drill. This is not speculation. This is not some future threat that might materialize someday. This is happening. Right now, this weekend. The bill passed the Senate at 11:47 p.m. last Thursday in a voice vote with no recorded roll call, no debate, no amendments, no publicity. The House had already passed it 3 weeks earlier in a late-night session buried beneath coverage of a presidential scandal. The president signed it Monday morning in a private ceremony with no
and this is a video 12 days ago, but he's saying they passed it.
press present. The White House released a single-paragraph statement calling it a necessary modernization of our financial infrastructure for the digital age.
Well, I don't even know what happened. Shit like you. I don't even know what happened right here. Oh, it's buffering. Shh. Shit like you about that. My data on my phone gone, man. I got to upgrade the plan on this phone. I just got I need to get closer to that. Matter of fact.
Why are you not?
All right, Shalaki. Let me get closer to the house. I'm outside in the car, get closer to this Wi-Fi. Shalaki about that. One moment.
Investing in TaxLink. No, seriously. Why are you not investing into one of the most incredible
Necessary modernization, that is what they call the end of financial privacy. That is how they describe the most comprehensive surveillance expansion in American history. That is the euphemism for a system that will track every dollar you spend, every purchase you make, every transaction you conduct. Starting this weekend, the mainstream media
Shalaki, and what he said, man, they gonna track every transaction you do, man, from your money, whatever you do. That's why you go to Revelation 13, he called all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in his right hand, his forehead. And you're not going to be able to buy or sell, man, unless you got it, because they're going to keep track of everything. And that mark going to corruption, incision, right? Or cutting in the flesh, you know. Also a batch of servitude, which what you would be to the Edomites, man. You would, basically, they saying you their property, which, you know, they control, they hold weight over the people now, man, which we don't really have no say so, basically, authority of our own life down there, basically, you know. But like he said, it gonna your every step, man. Stigma, cutting, incision, scratching, also going grapho or writing information. This chip gonna C-Hip gonna hold your information, right, on everything, your medical history, your everything.
has barely covered it. A few paragraphs in the business section, a brief mention on the financial networks, nothing on the front pages, nothing leading the evening news. They do not want you to understand what is happening until it is too late to resist, but you are watching a finance reality, and I am going to tell you exactly what this law does, exactly how it restricts your freedom, and exactly what you need to do before Saturday midnight to protect yourself. The clock is ticking, the window is closing, and the America of financial privacy is about to end. Welcome to Finance Reality. Let me show you what they just did with your money. Let me walk you through the legislation. Let me show you exactly what the Digital Currency Modernization Act contains and why it represents the most significant change to American money since the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. The bill is 847 pages long. I have read every page. Most members of Congress have not. Section 101 establishes the legal framework for a central bank digital currency, a digital dollar issued directly by the Federal Reserve. This is not new. We knew CBDC was coming, but the implementation details are far more aggressive than anyone anticipated. The digital dollar will be mandatory for all federal payments starting January 1st. Social Security, federal employee salaries, tax refunds, veterans benefits, Medicare reimbursements. All of it will be paid exclusively in digital dollars deposited to digital wallets. No more paper checks. No more direct deposit to your bank account. A new Federal Reserve digital wallet tied to your Social Security number will be the only way to receive federal payments. But Section 101 is just...
Like you said, it's the only way you're going to be able to see your federal payments. All right? Any kind of income you got coming in will hit your C-hip. What's going to be in your hand or your forehead. Like I say all the time, I had a video I did with the female rapper Cash Doll. All right, she had she got a video. I forgot what the video called, but I have did it. It's on my channel, and she was actually walking in the stores with a stack of money, and she'll pull the money out, and she'll shake her head like put it back. You know what I'm saying? And she'll put her forehead to the scanner. All right, the scan her forehead, swipe her head to purchase her item, and it'd be like approved. See, they were coming down the pipeline. See, they got your entertainers. They also pushing this thing, man. Like I say, if you ain't got this, you're gonna be X'd out of society. Either you gonna get put to death, or you gonna be X'd out of society, man. Because they gonna force you to get it. You don't want to get it. Hey, they with them troops come in, and they also go ahead and FEMA camps on the scene. All right.
Foundation. Section 203 is where the surveillance begins. All digital dollar transactions will be recorded on a Federal Reserve ledger. This ledger will be accessible to the Treasury Department, the IRS, the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, and any other federal agency with a legitimate law enforcement purpose. The definition of legitimate law enforcement purpose is deliberately vague. It essentially means any purpose the government decides is legitimate. Every purchase you make with digital dollars will be tracked. Every payment you receive will be logged. Every transfer between accounts will be recorded. The government will have complete visibility into your financial life. But wait, you might be thinking, I will just use...
And they're going to be able to turn your C-hip on and off, man. They going to have full access and control. Full access control to you. They own you. All right? This thing is... I'm telling you, it's going to get serious out here. All this holding the racks up, the stacks up, take your ear, and like you call niggas, so that shit gonna be over with. All right? If you ain't got this, you ain't shit. Bottom folks, they don't care. All right? You're not gonna be able to continue in society if you ain't got it. That's why the ones who believe and got faith in Yahweh Shai, this the hour of temptation, what the Lord say. They gonna come upon the whole world. All right? That's what the Lord say. What is it? Revelation 3 and 10. You know, since you had kept the word of my patient, I will also keep you from the hours of temptation. These ones who believe in and have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua and the suffering for Yahweh Shem Yahushua name's sake, catching hell and going through it. You know, hey, the Lord gonna keep us, the true man, from this. All right, they're not gonna have to sell out and take no C-hip, man, in order to move through society, right? Because like the scripture say, you ain't gonna be able to buy, sell, you ain't gonna be able to eat, nothing, move around unless you got it. But the ones who believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the Lord gonna provide for them in these times. All right.
Cash. I will just use my bank account. I will opt out of the digital dollar system. That is where Section 307 comes in. Section 307 establishes new restrictions on cash transactions. Starting this weekend, any cash transaction over $600 must be reported to FinCEN within 24 hours. The business accepting the cash must record your name, your address, and your identification number. The previous threshold was $10,000. They just lowered it to $600. At $600, virtually any significant cash purchase triggers a federal report. A used appliance, a piece of furniture, a car repair, a medical bill, a family dinner at a nice restaurant. Cash is not banned outright. That would be too obvious. Instead, it is burdened with reporting requirements so onerous that most businesses will simply refuse to accept it. This is how liberty dies. Not with an outright prohibition, but with regulation so burdensome that compliance becomes impossible and the prohibited behavior simply stops. Section 312 goes even further. Banks are now required to report any pattern of cash withdrawals that may indicate an intent to circumvent reporting requirements. This is called structuring, and it is already illegal. But the new law dramatically expands what constitutes suspicious behavior. Withdraw $500 in cash twice in 1 week.
Shalaki Aki, my for the. You might hear a little noise from the TV if you walk through this door real quick. Shalaki.
Suspicious. Withdraw $400 3 times in 1 month. Suspicious. Maintain a pattern of cash withdrawals that keeps individual transactions below $600. Suspicious. The law does not define a specific threshold. It gives banks discretion to flag any withdrawal pattern they consider unusual. And banks, facing massive fines for noncompliance, will overreport rather than underreport. Your bank will become a surveillance agent for the federal government. Your financial behavior will be monitored for deviations from approved norms. Your privacy will be sacrificed on the altar of security.
Listen up, parents. Want to start building generational wealth and happiness for your children in less than 10 minutes? Well,
Section 401 addresses precious metals. All purchases of gold and silver over $200 must now be reported to the IRS. The previous threshold was much higher and applied only to certain products. The new law covers all precious metals in any form. Buy 2 ounces of silver at your local coin shop? Reported. Purchase a single gold coin? Reported. Accumulate precious metals through small purchases to avoid reporting? Structuring, which is a federal crime. The government is closing every exit from the digital surveillance system. Cash restricted. Precious metals tracked. Digital currency mandatory for federal payments. The architecture of total financial control is being erected this weekend. Now let me explain why they are doing this. Let me educate you on the real motivations behind this legislation.
You know, should I can cut in real quick and this go back to Zephaniah, man, because even though you know people still gonna try to use gold and silver and them things stuff in order to get by, that's not gonna even help. All right. This is Zephaniah 1 and I start for 14. Zephaniah 1 and 18. It say, neither their silver nor their gold should be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. So when Yahweh Shem Yahushua started coming down with the wrath and Esau Edom, which is the sword of Yahweh Shem Yahushua on the left hand side, the Lord gonna use to play the acts out, man, to bring chaos throughout the earth before he return and just finish it all up. You know what I'm saying? So the silver and the gold not gonna be able to deliver you when the Lord have the enemy coming down with great wrath, man, and the plagues and things swarming the earth. These things not really gonna get you out your situation. Neither their silver nor their gold should be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land should be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he should make even a speedy riddance, it say, of all them that dwell in the land, man. A quick end, right? A speedy riddance, a quick end to the people who the Lord, the ones who don't have no interest in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you know, especially Esau Edom, and 2/3 of the Israelites. All right. So the vexation of getting rid of a troublesome or unwanted person, which would be, or thing, which would be Esau Edom, and you 2/3 Israelites. All right, but your gold and silver won't be able to deliver you. Your gold and silver will not get you on a chariot, which they call Esau Edom call a so-called UFO, a spaceship. All right, your gold and silver won't be able to deliver you out of these times of trouble, man.
Because the official justifications are lies. The official rationale is crime prevention. The bill's sponsors claim that cash enables drug trafficking, money laundering, tax evasion, and terrorism financing. They say that bringing transactions into the digital realm will help law enforcement catch criminals. This is propaganda designed to make you accept surveillance. The vast majority of cash users are not criminals. They are ordinary people who value privacy. They are small business owners who prefer simple transactions. They are elderly Americans who are not comfortable with digital technology. They are the working poor who lack access to banking services. Criminalizing cash punishes the innocent to theoretically catch a tiny minority of bad actors who will simply find other methods anyway. The real reason for this.
And that's another thing that's what they saying. Also, they're gonna cut out the robbery, like folk robbing you for money, because like, okay, if you got a C-hip in your hand and you ain't got cash, it basically trying to say is it's not going to be easy to rob somebody for their cash, because it's a chip that's gonna be in your hand or your forehead. But these folks might be desperate, man, chop your hand or your head off for this C-hip. All right, but yeah.
Legislation is control. A government that can see every transaction can control every transaction. A government that knows everything you buy can influence what you buy. A government with complete financial visibility has complete financial power. Let me give you specific examples of what becomes possible. Programmable money. The digital dollar can be programmed with restrictions. The government could decree that your digital dollars cannot be spent on firearms, or ammunition, or certain books, or donations to unapproved political organizations, or purchases from businesses that do not comply with social credit requirements. This sounds dystopian, but it is already being tested. China's digital yuan includes exactly these capabilities. The technology exists, the legal framework is now in place. Only political will determine whether it is activated. Expiring money. Digital dollars could be programmed to expire. Spend them within 90 days, or they disappear. This would eliminate saving. It would force consumption. It would give the government complete control over the velocity of money. Central banks love this idea. They have published papers exploring it. The ECB, the Bank of England, the Fed itself have all discussed programmable expiration as a tool for stimulating economic activity. In plain English, forcing you to spend rather than save. Negative interest rates. With physical cash, negative interest rates are impossible. If the bank charges you to hold your money, you simply withdraw cash and hold it yourself. With digital-only money, there is no escape. The government can impose negative rates of any magnitude. They can take 1% of your savings per month, or 5%, or 10%. You have no alternative. You cannot withdraw your money because there is no physical form to withdraw. This is the real agenda. Total control over money means total control over people. The Digital Currency Modernization Act creates the legal infrastructure for that control. The second real motivation is debt management. The United States has $34 trillion in federal debt. Interest payments exceed $1 trillion annually. The debt is mathematically unpayable through taxation or...
See, and that's what they're going to cut the money off. They in debt. So they just going to deal away with the money and make everything digital. All right? Hit a reset. Start everything over. All right? While passing out what? That RFID microchip. All right? They setting up that NWO. All right? This is what I'm saying. You going to lean on the staff of this broken reed. All right? This system. No support, no backbone. The only support backbone we have is Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right. Oh, and I want to say this too. Not Shalak. I wait.
Spending cuts. The only solution is inflation. Devalue the currency so the debt becomes manageable in nominal terms. But inflation has political consequences. People notice when prices rise. They vote against incumbents who preside over inflation. They resist policies that erode their purchasing power. A digital currency system offers a solution: hidden inflation. With complete transaction visibility, the government can implement targeted price controls. They can subsidize approved purchases while taxing unapproved ones. They can manipulate relative prices without changing the overall price level that shows up in official statistics. You will feel poorer. Your standard of living will decline, but the CPI will show low inflation. The manipulation will be invisible to most people. The third motivation is revenue collection.
Do you want to know where to invest $1,000 right now? Well, forget about AI, quantum computing.
The tax gap.
And it's on for with it base of fair use, edification purpose. All right. How they'll try to say copyright, whatever, but only for education purpose to YouTube.
The difference between taxes owed and taxes collected is estimated at $600 billion annually. Much of this gap involves cash transactions that are not reported. A digital currency system eliminates the tax gap entirely. Every transaction is visible. Every income source is tracked. Every deduction is verified against actual purchases. Tax evasion becomes impossible. But so does tax optimization. The gray areas that ordinary people use to minimize their tax burden disappear. The system is designed to maximize revenue extraction from the population. Complete visibility enables complete taxation. Now let me run the numbers. Let me show you the mathematical implications of this legislation for ordinary Americans. The $600 cash reporting threshold captures an enormous range of transactions. According to Federal Reserve data, the average American household conducts approximately 15 transactions per month, involving cash amounts between $100 and $1,000. These include car repairs, medical copays, home maintenance, used goods purchases, and service payments. Under the new law, any of these transactions exceeding 600
Then they're gonna limit your transaction. So you not gonna be out here just spending and cashing out how you do today. They're gonna set a limit on it, according to the Bible. Right?
dollars now triggers a federal report. For a typical household, this means 3 to 5 reported transactions per month. Over a year, that is 36 to 60 federal reports per household. Across 130 million American households, that is 4.7 to 7.8 billion cash transaction reports per year. The database required to store and process this information is staggering. The surveillance infrastructure is unprecedented. The government is building a panopticon of financial behavior. Now let me calculate the impact on businesses. The compliance cost for cash transaction reporting falls on businesses. They must collect customer identification, record transaction details, and file reports within 24 hours. For a small business, handling 50 cash transactions per day, with perhaps 10 exceeding $600, the paperwork burden is substantial. Industry estimates suggest compliance costs of $15 to $25 per reported transaction. At $20 per report, a business filing 10 reports daily faces costs of $200 per day, or $73,000 per year in pure compliance overhead. For many small businesses, this cost exceeds their profit margin. They will simply stop accepting cash, not because they want to, but because they cannot afford the regulatory burden. This is the intended effect. Cash will disappear not through prohibition, but through economic strangulation. Now let me calculate what happens to precious metals. The $200 reporting threshold for gold and silver captures virtually all retail precious metals transactions. At current prices, 1 ounce of silver, approximately $75. 3 ounces triggers reporting. 1/10 ounce gold coin, approximately $270. A single coin triggers reporting. 1/4 ounce gold coin, approximately $675. A single coin triggers reporting. Coin. The old reporting requirements, Form 8300 and 1099-B, had much higher thresholds and applied only to specific products. The new law covers everything. A silver stacker buying 10 ounces per month will generate 12 federal reports per year on their purchases. A gold investor buying 1 coin per quarter will generate 4 federal reports per year. The government is building a registry of precious metals owners. They are tracking exactly who has how much metal and where they bought it. This registry serves no legitimate law enforcement purpose. It serves only one purpose: preparation for confiscation. In 1933, Executive Order 6102 required Americans to surrender their gold to the Federal Reserve. The government set the price at $20.67 per ounce, then immediately revalued gold to $35, stealing $7 billion in today's dollars from citizens who complied. They needed a registry to enforce that confiscation. They did not have one, so compliance was spotty. The Digital Currency Modernization Act created the registry they lacked in 1933. When the next confiscation order comes, and it will come, they will know exactly who owns what. Let me calculate the timeline. The $600 cash threshold takes effect this weekend. The precious metals reporting requirement takes effect in 90 days. The mandatory digital dollar for federal payments takes effect January 1st. The full CBDC retail rollout is scheduled for July 1st of next year. Within 18 months, the transition will be complete. Cash will be marginalized. Precious metals will be tracked. The digital dollar will be operational. The full CBDC retail rollout is scheduled for July 1st of next year. Within 18 months, the transition will be complete. Cash will be marginalized. Precious metals will be tracked. The digital dollar will be operational. The window for preparation is measured in days and weeks, not months and years. Now, let me show you where this leads. Let me explain the next steps in the agenda that this legislation enables. Phase 1 is already underway. Normalization. The government will present the digital dollar as convenient, modern, and safe. They will offer incentives. Early adopters might receive bonus payments, tax credits, or priority access to government services. The messaging will emphasize the benefits. Instant payments, no lost checks, no bank fees, protection from theft. They will not mention the surveillance. They will not discuss the control. They will not acknowledge the loss of privacy. Most Americans will adopt the digital dollar willingly, even eagerly.
Like you said, most America will adapt to it even eagerly. Let's go back to Revelation on what I just read. I mean, not Revelation, I like Isaiah 36. And when he said, don't trust in the stealth of this broken reed of Egypt, where you lean onto it, will go into your hand and pierce it. All right? Because your money, like I said, your money, everything is going to be on this chip. The way you're going to be able to purchase and do everything, when they cut this dollar off, this Federal Reserve note is going to be on that chip. But he said people, a lot of Americans, they just going to they going to gravitate to it. They going to lean into it. But these will be the ones who didn't believe and have faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, especially for you Israelites, because it's all boiled down to you. It's matter if you get it or not, because you have a chance to be delivered and saved from these situations. But the heathen nations, they don't. The Negroes, Native American, so-called Negro, Native American, Indian, Latino, Hispanic, make up the 12 tribes of Israel. You have a chance to escape it, you know. But even though we say some of us had to be martyred for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua anyway, but the ultimate, you know, for the most part, Lord coming back to save. And also, a lot of people going to be delivered that who believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, they going to be delivered from these situations, taken care of when these things start happening. But to the heathen, it don't matter if they do it or take it or not. The Lord not dealing with them anyway, according to the Bible.
They have already given away their privacy to social media companies and smartphone apps. Giving it to the government will feel like a minor additional step. Phase 2 begins 6 to 12 months after implementation. Restriction. Once a critical mass of the population uses the digital dollar, the government will begin restricting alternatives. ATM withdrawal limits will decrease. Cashback at point of sale will be eliminated. Banks will impose fees on cash transactions. Physical currency production will be reduced. None of this will be announced as policy. It will happen quietly through regulatory guidance and commercial decisions that are technically voluntary but practically mandatory. The goal is to make cash inconvenient enough that most people abandon it without ever being told they must. Phase 3 begins 18 to 24 months after implementation. Elimination. At some point, the government will announce that physical currency is being phased out. The justification will...
And this is the thing, like I say, they're going to put it to the point when the way they're going to merge this digital dollar in, the RFID microchip, they're not just going to come out and pronounce, like, to the point like, okay, y'all, we're going to cut this is what we doing. They going to do it in a crafty, sly way, man, like Esau Edom, he is, man. He's a serpent, all right? That same serpent, go back to the garden, that same serpent today, when you go into the Bible, tell you that, all right? He's just not going to let you know they going to be, like they slowly dealing away with the dollar now. But the people don't know it. You know, everybody, you know, still, well, we have to work, you know, in order to provide and do what we have to do to pay bills and keep house, you know, keep your house, you know, pay rent, you know, so you be able to have your house and things like that. But the way the folks who they mind just only own to my getting the bag and things like that, man, when they come with it, they not gonna really just let you know. Like when you go into the Dead Sea Scroll with this Edomite be bringing out, you know, they find scrolls in the cave of Quran, not the Qurans as they, you know, Muslim, Islamic with they Quran Bible, Quran, I think Quran, and they find it in the cave over there in the land, Quran. So and they find scrolls, you know, ancient scrolls, which our people gonna read on, all right? And it was saying, not sure which book, which prophet quoted it, or you know where the saying, which prophet the saying came from, but it said there's gonna be a change of world currency without notice. And this is in the Bible, this is in the Dead Sea Scroll. And this is why he say they're afraid to let it get to a certain people, man. This information when he will bring it out them scrolls. All right? They're afraid what might happen to get to a certain people. But hey, the Lord left us the Bible, man. We have it. We have the blueprint. The Lord gave us the word through the Holy Bible, through these books. You know, we didn't have to get our hands on the scrolls, what they don't want us to see, what they got put up in with $1 million security system over in Jerusalem, things like that. All right, with these small heads hiding from the world. But he said there's going to be a change of currency without notice. This is in one of the scrolls, one of the books. All right. Came from one of the prophets through the spirit power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And we in that time. Right? They said this a long time ago. But now we need times because this world currency is fit to change. And like he said, it's not not just gonna put it all out there as once. All right? It's plenty of video, like you can just be doing, whatever. The next day, you can be minding your business. One day, you with your money situation, you spending your money out the bank. The next day you wake up, ain't no money in the bank. You got money in there, but they saying they ain't got it. They gonna lose it or whatever. Or we ain't doing that no more. And then they gonna roll over to the mark of the beast. All right, this system, this beastly system.
Efficiency and environmental concerns. Printing currency wastes paper and energy. Transporting it burns fuel. Storing it requires security. A deadline will be set. Physical currency must be deposited by a certain date. After that date, it will no longer be legal tender. Anyone who has been hoarding cash will be forced to deposit it. Anyone with unexplained accumulations will face questions. The surveillance net will close completely. Phase 4 is the endgame: control. With all transactions digital and visible, the government can implement any policy it chooses. Carbon credits tied to your purchases. Social credit scores affect your access to services. Political donations tracked and potentially penalized. Religious contributions monitored. Ammunition purchases flagged. Travel restricted based on spending patterns. Every dystopian control mechanism that has been implemented in China becomes possible in America. The legal and technical infrastructure is being built right now.
You heard what he said. Everything that's how they got it set up in China is possible to America. Because like I say, China and them countries over there on the water, they already doing this thing. They already ain't using no kind of paper money, man. They already using the digital currency, man. They doing things digital. They got video. These people swiping their hands at the stores and swiping to get stuff out the vending machine and swiping the open car doors or, clock in at a job, open the doors at the job, stuff like that. It gonna happen over here. Like we keep telling everybody. What they say, the vision is yet for a point in time, but at the end it should speak and not lie.
Now, let me explain what happens to silver in this scenario. Silver and gold become essential because they exist outside the digital system. When all official transactions are tracked, anonymous transactions become precious. When digital currency can be programmed and restricted, unprogrammable money becomes invaluable. When the government can freeze your digital wallet, assets they cannot reach become survival tools.
I'm sorry for keep cutting in, but like you said, they're going to be able to freeze your digital wallet, right? And that's what the true mans of the Lord telling you, man. From the Ed Apostle, Great Millstone on down, we teach these things through spirit power. How about you, they gonna have access to it. They gonna be able to cut your dollar off. So if you get it, they can still, hey man, shut your C-hip off. You want to be able to use it. Ain't no you can get it and you take it out. You took it from the beginning. It don't matter. You like, okay, you took it. I want to take it. You cut it out yourself. You received it on the first go round. They gave it to you. You lacked the faith and believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, so you bowed down to the system. All right? You got it. Ain't no, you getting up out of there. Ain't no, okay, you got a chance to repent because no, you're not going to take it from the start. All right? If you believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right? But like it said, Zephaniah 1:18, they gold and they silver will not be able to deliver you the day of the Lord wrath. This won't get you up out of this situation. The Lord had the enemy come rolling down on you, or you think you're going to maneuver your way around the system and with the gold and the silver and think, since you didn't get to see him, this and that, you were straight and, and with that being said, like you didn't believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but the Lord still probably, set it up for you to be able to maneuver around with your little silver and gold. You still ain't gonna get that. Still ain't gonna get you to salvation. All right, because the Lord gonna have you get caught up some kind of way. All right, if you don't believe in God, faith in Him.
Precious metals are the escape hatch. They are the parallel economy. They are the means of transaction when the digital system fails or becomes too oppressive to tolerate. This is why the government is tracking precious metals purchases. They know that gold and silver represent the primary threat to their control. They are building the registry so they can eliminate that threat when the time comes. But the registry only captures future purchases. Metal you already own is not in the database. Metal you acquire privately, through person-to-person transactions, is not tracked. The window for anonymous accumulation is closing. After the reporting requirements take effect, every purchase creates a paper trail. The metal you acquire before the deadline is metal they do not know about. The metal you acquire after is metal they can target. Now I must address why this legislation passed with virtually no opposition and no publicity. Both parties supported it. Republicans who claim to value freedom voted yes. Democrats who claim to represent ordinary people voted yes. The supposedly divided Congress found unity in expanding surveillance.
They don't want you to know about it.
Hey, did you know you might get a big cash pay?
Why? Because the legislation served.
And what he said, the Democrats, so all that Democrat, Republican, what they put in front of you, thinking these people are for you, they all together, man. They sit behind closed doors after they come out to the public in front of the people and act like they for you. At the end of the day, these people are all together, man. They sitting down, kick back behind closed doors, laughing about this. You know, sipping wine, the finest wine, and eating the best of the food. You know, laughing about it. Right? Because they all work together. Because when it come down to this, it ain't gonna be no old Democrat and Republican making decisions for the people. No, they all in one. All right? Revelation 13, they spoke it with two horns. All right? They spake as a dragon. Draconian law, these law, man. These law gonna hit hard when certain people gonna figure out when some people gonna realize, like, damn, like I don't want to take no seat here to be able them chip the market beast to be able to move around. You ain't gonna have no damn choice. If you don't believe in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, you gonna have no choice, but you gonna take it. No.
The interests that control both parties. The banking lobby wants the digital dollar because it eliminates competition from cash. Banks profit from transactions. Cash transactions bypass banks entirely. A digital-only system forces every transaction through the banking infrastructure. The technology lobby wants the digital dollar because it requires massive new infrastructure. Trillions of dollars in contracts for payment processing, identity verification, database management, and security systems will flow to tech companies. The security state wants the digital dollar because it enables total surveillance. The NSA, FBI, and DHS have been pushing for financial visibility for decades. This legislation gives them everything they want. The Federal Reserve wants the digital dollar because it extends their power. The Fed currently influences money through bank reserves. A digital dollar gives them direct control over consumer transactions. Every powerful institution benefits from this legislation. Ordinary citizens bear all the costs. The bipartisan support reflects the bipartisan ownership of Congress by these interests. When banks and tech companies and the security state all agree on something, it passes regardless of which party controls the chamber. The lack of publicity is equally deliberate. The bill was written in financial jargon and technical language designed to obscure its implications. Members of Congress who voted for it likely did not understand what they were approving. Their staffers read summaries provided by lobbyists. Media coverage was suppressed through access journalism. Reporters who cover finance depend on sources at the Fed, the Treasury, and major banks. Those sources provided the approved narrative: modernization, efficiency, crime prevention. Any journalist who accurately described the surveillance implications would lose access to sources. Their stories would be spiked by editors who understand the game. The truth was simply not reported. Social media amplification was suppressed through algorithmic adjustment. Posts criticizing the legislation received reduced reach. Hashtags were shadow banned. The digital platforms that would implement the surveillance state ensured that opposition could not organize. By the time you learned this legislation existed, it was already law. By the time you understood what it does, it was too late to stop it. This is how the system operates. Capture the institutions, control the narrative, implement the agenda before opposition can form. The only remaining question is what you do with the time remaining before implementation. If you own physical silver and gold, this legislation vindicates everything you believed. For years, you have been told you were paranoid. You were told the government would never implement surveillance currency. You were told that financial privacy was secure. You were told that precious metals were outdated relics with no modern purpose. You did not believe them. You saw the trajectory. You understood the technology. You recognized that capability eventually becomes reality when power is involved. And now you are proven right. The Digital Currency Modernization Act confirms every warning you ever heard about CBDCs. The surveillance is real. The tracking is comprehensive. The control mechanisms are being activated. Your decision to hold assets outside the digital system was not paranoid. It was prescient. It was preparation for exactly this moment. Every ounce of silver you own is a piece of freedom that the new system cannot touch. Every gold coin in your possession is a value that cannot be tracked, frozen, or programmed. The registry will capture future purchases. But your existing stack exists in the world before the registry. It is invisible to the surveillance system. It is money they do not know you have. This privacy is now invaluable. What was merely prudent last week is now essential. The gap between those who prepared and those who did not is about to become enormous. When your neighbors realize they can no longer transact privately, you will still have that ability through your metals. When your friends discover their purchases are tracked and judged, you will have assets that operate outside the system. The vindication extends beyond just being right about surveillance. You are right about the nature of money. You understood that government currency is a tool of control, not a neutral medium of exchange. You recognized that privacy and freedom are inseparable. You were right about the direction of policy. You saw that each incremental restriction on cash was preparation for this moment. You understood the trajectory when others dismissed it. You were right about the value of tangible assets. You knew that physical possession provides security that digital claims cannot match. You held metal while others held digits. The legislation that takes effect this weekend proves all of it. Your analysis was correct. Your preparation was wise. Your metals are now more valuable than ever. Hold them tightly. The system cannot take what it does not know you have. You have less than 72 hours before this law takes effect. Let me tell you exactly what to do. First, make any cash withdrawals you have been considering today. After Saturday midnight, any withdrawal pattern that appears designed to accumulate cash will be flagged as suspicious. Withdraw what you need before the surveillance window opens. Do not make it obvious. Do not withdraw your entire account. But if you want cash reserves, obtain them before the reporting threshold drops to $600. Second, make any precious metals purchases you have been considering immediately. The $200 reporting threshold takes effect in 90 days, but inventory is already being depleted by informed buyers. Dealers are seeing record demand this week from people who understand what is coming. Buy now while you can buy privately. After the reporting takes effect, every purchase creates a government record. Metal acquired this week is invisible. Metal acquired next month is tracked. Third, begin transitioning your regular transactions toward cash and precious metals. The more of your economic life that operates outside the digital system, the less exposed you are to surveillance and
3 body parts guys need to shave smooth instead of trim. Number 1, your back. Not sure if anyone told you, but the Sasquatch look stopped being a trend around 300,000 years ago. So yeah, shave it off. Number 2, your butt. It's way easier.
control. Pay cash where accepted. Develop relationships with vendors who value privacy. Build a network of like-minded people who will transact in metals when the time comes. Fourth, document your existing precious metals holdings. Create private records of what you own, when you acquired it, and what you paid. Store these records securely outside the digital realm. If confiscation ever comes, you will need to prove your holdings were acquired legally before the registry. Documentation protects you from accusations of evasion. Fifth, consider geographical diversification. Metal stored in the United States is subject to American law. Metal stored in jurisdictions beyond American reach provides additional protection. Switzerland, Singapore, and certain Caribbean nations offer secure storage outside the surveillance system. The costs are meaningful, but may be worthwhile for significant holdings. Sixth, share this information. Most Americans have no idea this law was passed. They do not understand what takes effect this weekend. They are walking into the surveillance state blindly. Help them understand. Share this video. Explain what the Digital Currency Modernization Act actually does. Give people the opportunity to prepare before the window closes. You cannot save everyone, but you can save the people closest to you. You can give them the information they need to make informed decisions. Seventh, do not despair. The situation is serious, but not hopeless. Every previous attempt at financial control has been resisted. Black markets emerge. Parallel economies.
It's like he's saying, you can't save everyone, but the one close to you who probably get the information, basically take heed to it, which ain't nobody gonna make it up out of this thing but the elect. All right, they the only one who gonna make it up out of this place when that happen. All right.
Develop. Human ingenuity finds workarounds. The digital surveillance state is powerful but not omnipotent. Physical assets remain physical. Private transactions remain possible. The human desire for freedom does not disappear because a law is passed. The coming years will be difficult. The transition will be painful. But those who prepared will weather the storm better than those who did not. You prepared. You acquired metals. You maintained privacy while it was legal. Now the test begins. This is finance reality. The Digital Currency Modernization Act takes effect Saturday at midnight. The $600 cash reporting threshold activates. The surveillance state expands. Your medal is your freedom. Your preparation was your wisdom. Your remaining hours are your opportunity. Use them well. Like this video if it informed you of something you did not know. Subscribe if you want to continue receiving information that the mainstream media hides. Hit the notification bell so you do not miss critical updates.
All right.
They actually did it. Well,
All right, and there you have it. All right, so he just told you, man, and I don't know where he at, what part of the country. All right, what part of the world he at, in the country in, but he's saying basically he got the popping over there, telling them you need to go and do this, you need to go and do that. Well, finish this off, man, because anybody who accept this, hey, you done, man. All right, 1 second. 1 second. All right. Now, this is Revelation chapter 15. And it's 15 and 9. It said, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a nauseum and grievous sore, right? A discharge, a noise and grievous sore upon the that grievous pain discharge upon the man which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image, which is his NWO, this the NWO system. All right. But like you said, man, that noise and grievous sore, man. All right. Because when the Lord released these pestilent, man, these things gonna continue to hit. And part of that, that noise that would also come in the form of you being destroyed with them nuclear missiles. All right, run it back. And the first went out and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the man which had the mark of the beast. This thing gonna cause cancer. All right, you put in this radiation, got radiation flowing through your body from a additional device that do not supposed to be in your body. You know, you see how Elon Musk had the brain see here. You know, you can do things through the chip. You know, do things through the chip. You know, when they put it in your brain or whatever, man, it control basically the chip doing everything. Those are false miracles. Helping the blind man see and paralyzed people walk. Those are no false miracles, all right? Go back to Thessalonians, I think it was 1 Thessalonians, all right? Giving people false hope that artificial intelligence, and is not really set up by Yahweh. It is really not worked through Yahweh by Shem Yahushua on, you know what I'm saying, on working miracles. This is so-called technology and miracles did by man, but not of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua in man way, not in Yahweh by Shem Yahushua way, right? But okay, when you receive that grievous sore discharge, gonna cause cancer, you name it, putting something in your body don't supposed to be there, but you also will be tormented with fire and brimstone, man. All right, that is to come. All right. Psalms 91:3. Surely he should deliver thee from the snares of the fowler which Esau Edom, and from the noisome pestilence. All right. And that's to come. Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 40. And let me see. All right, this Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 40, at verse 13. It say the goods of the unjust should be dried up like a river and should vanish with noise like a great thunder in the rain. All right, it say while he openeth his hand, he should rejoice. So should transgressors come to naught. All right, because like we say, the ones who take the MOTB, they gonna come to naught. The children of the ungodly should not bring forth many branches, but okay, they're going to something else. Okay, but should not clean roots upon a hard rock. Okay, but all right, the elect will be delivered from the mark of the beast and from the missiles. Now this Revelation 14 and 8. It say in the third. It say and there followed an angel. Like and there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen. It is fallen. It say that great city, because she made all the nation drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. It say, and so like I'm gonna jump down to 9, but and as you can see, it's crumbling. Babylon is falling, man. This is not America what they used to know. That's why they make America great again. It never been great to the Israelites, to so-called Negro, Native American, any so-called until Hispanic. Their place is falling, and you see it. And that's what's gonna make them so-called wanna cut the dollar off and come in with the MOTB to start up a new system. But verse 9, it say the third angel, this is what I really wanted. The third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture in the cup of his indignation and his righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. All right, it say the smoke of that torment ascended up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image and whosoever received the mark of his name. All right, so anybody who will accept this microchip, see here, the mark of the beast, which they're gonna come in the form of the small grain of rice, which is the microchip. All right, you're gonna be tormented with fire and brimstone. We already told you that grievous sword gonna fall upon you. All right, this charge is gonna affect the body. All right, now I go down, stop at verse 12. It say here is the patience of the saints, because we waiting on this. Here are they that keep my commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai, because the elect not gonna take that. All right, we patiently waiting on Yahweh waiting on Yahweh Shai to return. No, we waiting on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We stand fast for the truth. All right, but that's the point. What I have, about this is coming. They cutting the dollar off soon. It gonna happen over here soon. All right, so close out by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. With that, we say Shalom, and I hope that was edifying.